I ain't taking the rap on this. It's not my fault. I don't need this action.
Shit. Sleepwalkers is a 1992 horror comedy film written by the great Stephen King and directed by Mick Garris. The film stars Machen Amick as Tanya Robertson, the main protagonist, Brian Krause as Charles Brady, and Alice Krieg as Mary Brady, the latter of who are an immortal race of cat-fearing half-vampires called Sleepwalkers, serving as the main antagonists. The film starts with Mark Hamill, the Mark Hamill, who most people remember from such amazing films as Slipstream, Time Runner, and Silk Degrees. He did a lot of great voice work, such as the Phoenix King from Avatar: The Last Airbender, and Joker from Batman the Animated Series. But everyone's gonna remember him from the original space opera mega breakthrough hit that brought him to stardom, and we do have to mention it, the Guyver. I've probably talked about him too much already. He only has a cameo in the movie and he's in it for about a minute or two. Here he is an investigating popo checking out the murder of a young woman and the insanely brutal violences that have occurred to the cats in the area. Mark brings us right into number 10, the plot. An absurd and semi-original vampire-esque yarn that serves to set up a decent story and an amazing amount of campy violence. We follow Charles Brady and Mary Brady, a very strange mother and son who survive on the essence of teenage virgins. In a never-to-be-copied twist, he is an almost vampire immortal creature who enrolls in a high school and stalks down a young virgin girl who he meets at the theater dancing a jig as if no one is in the theater but those two. We learn a great deal about his character when we find out that Tanya's mom and Charles both share a taste for rubbing stick.
See, I do rubbings too.
Tell me, Charles, do you use powder or stick?
I use stick.
Really? Don't you find that a little hard?
I'm clumsy, you know, powder's so messy and everything.
Shit. Apparently that's a form of gravestone rubbing. Their main mistake seems to be that every town they move to, the sheriff deputy has a cat that rides along in the car with him.
What happened?
What always happens, Mom?
Deputy had a cat.
Shit. I'd research the next town and make sure that the sheriff deputy doesn't have a cat. We learn as the movie progresses, and from the opening text, that these sleepwalking beasts are susceptible to the scratch of the common feline. This sets up some great cat versus sleepwalker violence we'll get into later. Coming in at 9, we have Ron Perlman.
Police, hands up!
His idea of being a good cop is giving Tanya a spanking when she is being stalked by a sleepwalker.
Listen, that little girl needs a good smack on the butt.
One of his cops gets his leg stuck in a bear trap. A friggin' bear trap. I mean, if you pull too hard, his leg is gonna come off. And Perlman's reaction is...
Fire drill. Get out of there!
He's just a terrible cop.
Get back in the damn car! Now, move! 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 Move!
Move! Move! Move!
It's great when he gets his fingers bit off by Mary and crushed by his own arm. Interestingly, he'll go on to be the biggest actor of the group. I think he's 11 years into his career here. I know he was in Quest for Fire, and that was 1981. Give him another 10 years, his chops improve a bit, and Hollywood finally gives him a chance. And now we have Ron Perlman as a leading man.
What? Cold draft. Use one right now, could you?
Coming in at 8, we have the strange relationship between the sleepwalking mother and son. The mom gets depressed, the son asks her to dance, and that leads to, yeah. She beats on him when she's hungry, that leads to, yeah. They definitely have a very strange relationship, which often seems to lead to, yeah. There's even an actual sex scene between the two later when they morph in and out of sleepwalker form, which we're not gonna show. For some reason, the dynamic presented here is that Charles has to suck the essence of virgin from said virgin, then somehow feed Mary.
You have to get it for me.
I assume he just sucks the juice out of Tanya and then he shoots it into Mary. I assume this is the traditional mother-son sleepwalker arrangement as well, and this is a normal, healthy relationship for sleepwalkers. Coming in at 7, we have Mr. Phallus, or Mr. Phallus, the pedophilic teacher.
Ah, shit! I suggest that next time you keep your hands to yourself, Mr. Crawford.
As you can see here, he's peeping in on Charles. Later, he catches Charles whilst joyriding and tries to blackmail him into sexual coitus after exposing Charles' background story as being based on myth and conjecture.
Do you think you can wiggle out of this?
If this is blackmail, Mr. Phallus, I think you picked the wrong guy.
Gillo, I'm through with you.
He loses his hand for his troubles, doesn't think to get in his car, and runs into the woods nearby where he can be easily slaughtered, killed, hidden. I mean, why would you run directly into the woods? He should grab a stick and a rock and, well, a stick or a rock since he only has one hand now, and maybe try to defend himself, get in his car even, drive away. But nah, he just runs into the woods where no one will witness his murder. He does yell sorry as if that's gonna do anything. Sorry! Before he knocks himself out, running headfirst into a tree. The plot gets a little whack here in my opinion as Charles appears to be feeding on him. I thought they fed on the essence of virgin, not the fat of Mr. Phallus, but here we are, watching Charles eat him. His mom does cook him chicken later on, so maybe they have to bring in a general amount of daily protein in addition to weekly or monthly virginal vitamin shots. At 6, we have the car chase scene, where Andy Simpson, my favorite character, is driving around singing songs to his cat Clovis.
Get the bad guy, get the bad guy, get the bad guy, come on, Clovis.
Charles speeds by and Deputy Simpson gives chase.
We found ourselves a goddamn speedster.
We get a great car chase scene. A lot of good action, spliced with quips from Dan Martin.
What the? Jesus! Oh shit! Jesus, no! Everybody okay?
Go get him!
I love this squirrel that runs up and then flees from the chase. I think they use this shot because of the damn squirrel. I know I would leave the shot in because of said squirrel involvement. Charles gets spooked when he sees Clovis, Andy's cat, and shows his true form. Eventually he hides himself, a skill these sleepwalkers possess, as Deputy Simpson ponders how did he get away. It's a great scene all around, one of the best scenes in the movie. The interplay between Andy and Charles is grand, and Andy and Clovis. At 5, we have Clovis in the army of cats. This army of cats senses the sleepwalkers, smells them, and begins amassing. At first, there's just a few cats. They have bear traps and things out to catch the damn things. They call the cops. They do what they can to keep the cats from coming for them, but cats smell sleepwalkers, it seems, and they need to kill them. It's an innate natural urge. So this army builds throughout the movie. They're funny to watch, this big giant army of cats just building and building as they come to stalk the sleepwalkers. At 4, we have the death of the mom via cat army intervention. The mobilized feline corps has had enough. When Mary bursts out of the house after Tanya, they mob the sleepwalking vixen. She rips quite a few of them up, chucking cats right and left until the damage from their claws and bites becomes too much. With each claw, in theory, they are generating a great amount of heat.
My face is so hot.
Eventually, she bursts into an internal feline-caused combustion. The cats watch on in one of the funnier moments of the movie before they take off, back to their regular lives. Clovis is hiding in the cop car and comforts Tanya as the movie rolls to an end. At 3, we have the best scene in the movie. It's very short, that's why it comes in at 3 and not number 1. A bunch of cats have busted into the house to kill Mary. After she tears some cats off of herself, one is hanging onto her back. The sheriff blasts her right in the stomach with the shotgun and the cat goes flying as it makes a great cat yowl. I would definitely go down fighting that this is the best scene in the movie. Amazing. At 2, we have the best character in the movie. Dan Martin is Andy Simpson. He sits around waiting for speeders as he plays with his cat.
Get the bad guy, get the bad guy, get the bad guy, come on, Clovis.
And sings the stupidest songs ever, trying to get it to attack its little ball.
Hey, there comes Johnny with his pecker in his hand. He's a one-ball man and he's off to the rodeo.
I don't know if these are real songs or someone made this stuff up.
Well, a man live, now a man right. Come on, you fucking turkey, get your right foot right.
Maybe he was even ad-libbing.
Get off the stage, you fucking jerk, you know.
If anyone knows the origin of these lines, please comment below. That would make my YouTube. His intonation and inflection is amazing.
You piss me off.
I liked it so much I made an entire song based off of his lines and delivery. He meets his end when Charles shoots him, after lodging a pencil in his ear and yelling "cop kebab." But he exists as the greatest character of the movie. He's just hilarious. At 1, we have the violence. The campy, hilarious, epic, over-the-top nature of this violence is nearly perfect in execution.
Get zone! Every man he has! Castle Rock, too!
You have a corn kill.
No vegetables, no dessert.
Cop kebab.
Cop kebab!
Double head smash. Explosion. Burned alive. Fingers bit off. Head whacked with freshly broken arm. Cop hit with bear trap. Sleepwalker hit with bear trap. Body slam to fence impale. You get it all in this movie, and it's great to watch. It's really fun to see. The movie itself is poorly executed in many ways, but the violence and the campy nature of it all is very fun to watch. This is definitely a B movie, and it can't get itself out of that category. Among really silly camp movies, this one really shines. I don't recommend this movie to everyone, but I recommend this to any horror lovers, especially King lovers, and extra especially camp lovers. It performs quite well all around, with the only problem being that its plot is a bit thin and poorly executed. Because of this, it can be slow at times, but it's not bad, and once it gets going, it keeps going, and it keeps speeding up, and it's a great ride. I would definitely give it a chance. So if you made it this far, thank you so much. Please like and subscribe, and I will be back with more.